All of this, of course, comes hot on the heels of the cholera outbreak in Hammanskraal over the last few weeks. Well, 3 different reports out today. Ferial Adam is the executive manager at WaterCan. Ferial, good afternoon to you. Okay, we've got 3 separate reports. What exactly are they telling us about our water systems?
So the important thing to note that none of these are an audit report, which gives you a full estimation and where we are in the country. These are watch reports. So, for example, if you take the Blue Drop report, the Blue Drop Watch report, it is only assessing the technical site assessment, so the site visits that they did to about 151 water supply systems. Now, if you take that in, we have over 1,000 water supply systems, so it's an indicator of what is going on. A lot of the statistics that we're looking at and the numbers that we're looking at were already released. Well, there was some, there was a Blue Drop report last year, or a kind of preliminary report that had quite a few of the statistics in it already. What is important with all 3 of these is that it's about compliance. It's about last year, municipalities were issued with, you are not complying, you're non-compliant, you need to do X, Y, and Z, you need to get your plans together. And this report brings that out quite strongly on how many have actually done that.
So, we keep being told that water is safe to drink, unless you're told it's not safe to drink. I don't know how encouraged I should be by that.
So I think that in the bigger municipalities, water is safe to drink, and is why we as WaterCan keep saying we need to have citizen science activists testing water. Because there have been municipalities where we've tested water and the water was not safe to drink and there were no boil water notices issued. But I think that a municipality will issue a notice this year saying don't drink the water from the taps, but they don't check it. They don't, we need to make sure that that doesn't go on forever. If we look at what's happening in Makanda, for example, 6 years ago they said don't drink the water from the taps and you still can't drink the water from the taps. So that's the kind of thing we need. That's what this Blue Watch Drop report is looking at, is who's not complying, who's not making things better.
So we all know how big the problems are in our councils, and their water boards as well, which have problems. And in fact, municipalities also haven't kept up, if I remember correctly, with their payments to water boards. So then the water boards start to run out of money. The picture that I'm painting, I'm afraid, or the question that I'm building up to, is are we looking at some kind of large-scale collapse of water systems, almost in slow motion? Small municipalities first, and then big municipalities. It certainly feels like that, Dr. Adam.
It does feel like that. In fact, I would say it's like a mudslide, which starts off slow and then just speeds up towards the end. And it's very concerning. I think the one thing I must add is that, the no-drop report, we've been waiting for a no-drop report for a long time, and it's quite telling because the earlier estimations were that 35 to 40% of our water is being lost either through non-revenue, stolen water, leaks. And now it's looking at up to 50%. So you've got the no-drop report. We're losing about, 50% of our clean drinking water. The green drop, we just need to look at the outbreaks of cholera. We know that 50,000 liters of sewage is flowing into our rivers and streams per second every day. We know that our drinking water supply, whether it's microbiological or chemical, are both strained. And the fact that only 50% of all non-compliant municipalities actually reached out to the Department of Water and Sanitation, it's clear that there isn't enough urgency around this, and I do feel like we're on a slippery slope.
The department clearly seems to be trying to, fix some of these problems. As always, we're told that the first step is to diagnose it, so these reports help us to diagnose it. But it's going to require such a big effort to fix all of these problems across the entire country. I hate to say this, but I have my doubts as to whether it's even possible with the resources we have at the moment.
Yeah, I think that it is. There are some that can be fixed without enormous amount of money. I think we just need to be able to have a public participation or public involvement or civil society involvement to actually go through those and say these wastewater treatment plants or water treatment plants can be fixed for much less than are being quoted. So yes, I agree with you. I also think that we are moving in the right direction in terms of the Department of Water and Sanitation has laid criminal charges against at least 7 municipalities. That is the kind of things we need, although It shouldn't be at the municipality as a whole. We need to hold people accountable. There's no point charging the whole municipality and people still keep their jobs for creating the mess that we're in.
I mean, there's a great example playing out now, and because there's a court case which has been brought by Action SA, it means that there'll be sort of on-the-record evidence around what's been happening in eThekwini. And you actually have there, sure, there was a big flood last year, and that's had a huge impact. There were problems before. But there you even have provincial and national government departments laying the door very clearly at the city. The city hasn't done what it's supposed to do as a result. And I mean, from time to time, we had more images of this yesterday on our screens here on Newzroom Afrika, channel 405, of the sewage. I wanted to put a face mask on and I'm 1,000 miles away. The point I'm trying to make is that I don't know if there's any accountability in eThekwini at this stage as a result. Now, eThekwini is a big metro. It has massive revenues. It has huge resources compared to the others, and it can't or it won't fix it.
I agree. I think that, that's the challenge. It feels like it's really overwhelming. But I think that also what has been one of the big problems is that national and provincial government have waited too long to get involved and to actually take action. So we have these big plans, we have these schemes, but we don't have implementation, we don't have people arrested, we don't have people in jail. And until we have that, we're not going to fix this. We need one person in jail, and I think then municipalities would actually start pulling their weight together and get things done. But also, national government has to have better oversight. These reports, Stephen, as you've said earlier, I mean, since 2013 have been giving us red flags, and there hasn't been good enough oversight to stop these municipalities from messing up, and a lot of it is linked to corruption and mismanagement.
Do you think we need to take some of the powers over water away from municipalities? And I realize I can just see the court case. I can even tell you which municipality would bring it. But the point, if municipalities can't do it, do we need to look at government taking over water particularly? And water systems are complicated. I wouldn't want to be the national water minister now, never mind managing all of the infrastructure councils currently manage.
It's already being done, but we need to do more of it. So, for example, if you look at the Vaal, and if you look at Mfuleni, a lot of the functions that Mfuleni as a municipality was supposed to carry out have been handed over to Rand Water because they failed to do so. Mfuleni failed to do so. So those kind of things are already happening across the country. It's why the national department has been looking and re-looking at how the water boards, what water boards do and where they sit, etc. So there's this overhaul happening. But I think that I'm hoping it's not too little, too late.
Dr. Ferial Adam, thank you. Executive Manager at the organisation Water Can. Really do appreciate the time today. Well, isn't that something to think about while you go and switch on your tap to make yourself a cup of tea? We'll be back with more news.